Thank you, Gab, for that awesome introduction. No pressure at all, right? Hang on a second. I believe I have a missing slide. Anyway, never mind, that's okay. I had when people ask me about open source, they often ask me, what is open source? How does it work? The story I like to tell them is open source is like a group high school project, except everyone's invited. But no one can agree on anything. And somehow, it still ends up running your car, your fridge, and possibly even your toaster. But that's the beauty of open source, right? Like, everyone's invited, everyone participates, and it takes over the world. My name is Manik. I run open source for Block. And as Gab mentioned, I've got a long history in open source. Many years at Block, but also prior to that at Red Hat for many years, and JBoss, if anyone remembers JBoss before that as well. One thing about Block, I mean, people have asked me a lot, like, what is Block? What was Block used to be called? Things like that. It's a small company that used to be called Square many years ago. We renamed to Block a few years back, and we also own a few other brands like Cash App, TIDAL, Afterpay, and a whole host of Bitcoin-related businesses as well. So right now, as you're probably aware, millions of people around the world are interacting with Block. A food truck owner in Denver is processing their first sale of the day with Square, and a parent in Atlanta is sending lunch money through Cash App. A music lover in Berlin is discovering a new artist on TIDAL, and someone in Sydney is securing their Bitcoin with BitKey. Right? Different experiences, all different needs, and I'm sure you've guessed by now what I'm going to say. What they all have in common is that they all run on open source. But I'm sure you all know that. Many of your businesses probably do as well. Processing payments, transferring money, making loans, trading securities, every single interaction depends on technology built by people you've never met. People who don't work for you, but people who shared their work possibly for free. That's open source, right? We all know that. You're no strangers to it. That's why you're here. We know the world of finance are heavy consumers of open source. But why should we at Block, but also everyone in this room, be creators of open source? Well, open source is good for business. It builds trust. Block's customers, but also partners, regulators, and many more, trust us more when they know they can audit our code. That's why several of Block's products, including certain hardware designs, are open source. It drives authenticity with our customers, and it helps us live our values. Brand. When you do something awesome, don't you want to tell people about it? Yes, right? It's human to want your work to be visible. Sharing motivates, it encourages engineering excellence, and it attracts talent. Real-world story. Some of the work that we've done upstream in Android, deployed on over 4 billion devices in the world today, makes Block a real magnet for Android engineers. One of the best places to work if you're an Android engineer, right? Leverage. If a project gains enough adoption, the community will help you build it. They'll do it by doing some of the work for you. By collaborating with others and sharing the workload, you get to do more with less. This too has happened at Block. Quality. Is it even a question anymore that open source leads to higher quality? Relentless cross-examination by thousands of eyes leads to code that is more secure, more reliable, and more efficient. Quality just goes up. And since when has quality ever been bad for business, right? Further, Block's purpose is economic empowerment, to enable everybody to participate in the global economy. That purpose aligns perfectly with open source values of community, of sharing, and access for all. You couldn't design a better fit if you tried. And a part of that purpose is trying to make a difference, make the world a better place, and to leave a legacy. Now, speaking of legacy, though, that's the other thing about open source. It outlasts companies. Companies evolve. They pivot. They merge, and sadly, sometimes they disappear. But their code can endure. Remember Netscape? It's gone. But Firefox still lives on. How about Sun? Sadly, sunset. But Java thrives, right? And how about Nokia? We all know what happened there. But Qt still powers millions of devices everywhere. Do you want to build something that truly lasts? build it in the open. An example that is particularly meaningful to me is gRPC. Before gRPC existed, at Block, we had an in-house proprietary RPC framework we called Sake. Sake worked well, it was great, but it took a team of very senior engineers to maintain it. Knowing that Google had something very similar in-house called Stubby, I reached out to them, and we started floating the idea that the next version of Sake will probably be open source. That idea resonated really well with with Google. We joined forces, and gRPC was born out of Sake and Stubby DNA. Today, gRPC has become wildly successful, as you're well aware. Everyone knows it. Block gets gRPC virtually for free. Yes, we contribute back, but the cost to us is tiny compared to operating and running Sake on our own. And gRPC just keeps improving, too, at a far faster pace than we could have done on our own. That's leverage. That's leverage in action. Now, I don't believe everything we open source will become like gRPC. That is an outlier. But it can happen sometimes, and it's worth trying. Let me introduce you to a simple idea that we're adopting at Block. It's called default to open. Now, this doesn't mean that everything Block does becomes open source. Far from it, right? There's some things that just don't make sense to be out in the open. Legacy code, proprietary code, customer data, we can't do that. But it does mean that Block's first instinct should be to ask, why not open source this? Simple question, right? And when we test that question honestly, we've found fewer reasons to keep something closed than to open source it. Defaulting to open is how Block is becoming an open source company, as opposed to a company that just has a lot of open source. And we do have a lot of open source. It's deeply ingrained in our engineering culture. We've been creating open source since the company started in 2009. And we currently have over 450 public repos. Bitkey, Proto, Goose, that's far from a comprehensive list, by the way. That's just under 5% of Block's open source footprint. These aren't just repositories of code, though. They're our contribution to a shared foundation for the world. They're designed to serve everybody. They're designed to empower. And that's a part of our legacy. Block is built on the shoulders of open source giants, but we're also actively collaborating with those giants. This isn't a charity, this is strategy. When Block improves Android, every single Square terminal gets better. When we enhance cloud infrastructure, Cash App becomes more reliable. When Block accelerates open source AI agents, we empower everybody to create and build. We contribute to the foundation, and everybody wins, including us. We're not here to extract value, we're here to provide value. Because providing value creates more value for all. And that's a really powerful flywheel. But we do have a problem, a big one. Openness has never mattered more than it does today, right now. We're at a pivotal moment in time. Why? Well, AI. The story of AI is being written right now. AI is the most powerful technology of our age. It'll probably be the biggest driver of economic growth since the web. Mostly that's happening in private. We've seen what happens when a handful of corporations control social media, for example. Clicks over truth, outrage over understanding, billions of minds bent by profit-chasing algorithms. AI is even bigger. If social media warped our conversations, AI will shape what we learn, how we think, how we make financial decisions. This time, it's not just culture at stake. It's the engine of global prosperity. Would you trust that to a handful of corporations? Now, you may be wondering, is there an alternative? Do you have a choice? Well, I have one for you. Imagine if the best minds in the world were invited to participate, to share and to build this powerful technology together in the open to serve everybody. Sounds beautiful, right? Utopia? I promise you I'm not daydreaming. We have seen this before. It works. The internet. The internet is what it is today, a force for good because it is open. We can do it again. And we must. This might be the most important fight of our time. It may not surprise you to know Block is already at the forefront of this fight to keep AI open. But we can't do this alone. We need your help. And I have one ask from you. Yes, I want you to fund and contribute to open AI ecosystems, but that's not my ask. Remember default to open? I'm not asking you to change everything overnight. Take baby steps. Are you building an AI framework, a tool, a library? Can it be open? Working with a vendor, push for open systems, open standards, open protocols. You have the power, and you'll save yourself some vendor lock-in too. Adopt and publish open standards, model evaluation benchmarks, even something you think that might be simple, a recipe, a pattern, an idea. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be huge. It just has to be shared. Sharing creates network effects. Collaborate across companies. Open source is not competition. It's infrastructure. It's a foundation. And when everyone defaults to open, that builds a habit. Open source gave us the internet. It gave us the modern world that's accessible to everyone. For the next generation of technology to realize its full potential, and crucially, for everyone to benefit from it, we need to keep AI open. Thank you.